All right, next up, we are going to be talking about really just the motivation for why we do what we do in student ministry. And it may seem a little bit elementary, it may seem a little bit obvious, but at the end of the day, we are here for students. Again, it just sounds kind of like duh, but the reality is that when we come to a gathering together, oftentimes it's very easy for us to have our focus on each other. Maybe because we have friends that also volunteer or work in student ministry in some capacity. It's really easy for us to kind of connect with each other more than we're connecting with students. It's very easy for us because we're similar in age and we've got similar life stages and we've got things in common and we love each other, so we want to connect, and that's totally normal and cool. However, it's really important for us to remember when we step into a Wednesday night gathering that we are here for students. So we've got a couple of things we want to share with you about how to practically set our minds on that and how to practically live that out on a Wednesday night. And it really is going to help us be more effective when we are here on a Wednesday night. And the reality is all of us are busy and we all have a lot on our plate. So when we come here on a Wednesday night, we want to make sure that we use our time effectively.
Yeah, we want to make sure we maximize every moment we have with students. I think one of the best ways I've seen a lot of different adults do that is when you really walk in, your mindset is saying, okay, I am looking to connect with these students. Like there are certain times there's students, and so I'm walking in, there's already students in my head, kind of my mental Rolodex, and I'm connecting with them, already looking for questions that I want to ask them. The other thing is when I see students that I don't know, I engage immediately. And I know I've seen a lot of youth leaders, Joel does this, and a lot of our adult volunteers on Wednesday nights do this really well in a lot of different ways. And so, but really just looking to connect with students. And I think one of the biggest obstacles often is adults feel like, well, do these students really want to connect with me? Right. And the answer is yes.
Yeah,
like resounding. They may think you're not, you may think that they think you're not cool. And at the end of the day,
might not be cool.
That's correct.
That's okay.
Seriously, I do this. But the reality is they want to connect. I've never had a student ever say, gosh, I'm just so mad those guys tried to, be friendly to me. This never happened. In fact, a couple days ago, Joel was just mentioning a particular student had specifically said, man, I came up here and I just realized, he's like, she kind of made a mention that adults actually talked to me here. And I was blown away that the first thing she mentioned was the fact that adults would out of her way to just have conversation with her, and was so humbled to know that we get a chance to impact students in that way.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference, and it matters to kids. I mean, if you think about a student's life and the interactions that they have with the majority of adults, maybe their moms and dads care about them and love them. Maybe they have aunts and uncles and family members that care about them and love them. But oftentimes, teenagers are a bother to adults, and teenagers aren't loved by adults. They're sloughed to the side, they're pushed to the side, and made to feel less than valuable. And we have an opportunity to step in and make a difference and change the culture, at least for 2 hours on a Wednesday night and whatever time we have with them outside a student ministry gathering. And we have a lot of ability to influence them and impact them. But that comes over the bridge of relationship that is forged oftentimes on Wednesday night. So there's a couple practical places that you can really intentionally think, this is a time for me to connect with students. First of those is the lobby experience. Yep. In the beginning of the evening, students are dropped off or drive here at different times. And from about 5:45 on, I always look at that time as go time. This is students are here, and it's time for us as leaders to be on. We're no longer in a circle talking with one another. We're no longer, focusing on our own needs. At that point, we are focused on students. That our eyes are tuned into students. Our ears are tuned into students. Our high fives are with students, and that lobby time is precious. If we think about the time that students spend in school among peers, with the influence that those peers have, We think about the amount of time that they spend online and the influence that our culture has through social media and through just really general media. We recognize that the time that we have with students is so precious and so limited. We want to use that in a very focused way. So that lobby time is incredibly key to just greet students and ask them how they're doing, ask them how their day, and really not like, hey, how you doing, but like, hey, how has your week been? Ask them specific questions. What have you been up to? Have you had, if you know that they're a baseball player, hey, have you had any games? How have your practices been going? Is your team clicking well? Is there as much talent this year as there was last year? Those kinds of things. You can really engage them during that lobby time. The second time that we really want to focus in on engaging with students, and this may seem a little bit odd or out of the box, but it's during our times of worship. And when I say engage with students, I don't necessarily mean in conversation, but I mean via worshiping God, but in and amongst the students. And a lot of times I see leaders, they're off in their own corner having their own mini quiet time with God. And that's cool and stuff, but the reality is you should be spending time with the Lord on your own. And when you come here on a Wednesday night, it's an opportunity for you to be an example and set the pace in the way that you interact in worship. Not like our worship's a show and we do an interpretive dance on the stage.
But that would be awesome.
That would be awesome, and I've actually encouraged Kenny to begin doing that because that would be legit. But the reality is that we have an opportunity to be front and center, to be with students, to be engaging with them, and to be clapping, to be worshiping God and saying, hey, we're here to worship God and we're here to show you how to do it. And so that's a huge opportunity. During the message is another opportunity to engage with students. Sit with them. Don't sit in the back row. Don't hold up the back of the room. This is a time for you to be with the students, to interact, to be an example. Maybe take notes on the message. The messages are good.
That's right.
Really good.
So good.
But for real, just be with the students and engage with them during the message. And then on a Wednesday night context, the next great opportunity for us to hang out is in the lobby again. Just giving high fives, giving hugs, encouraging them. Even offering to pray for them, asking them what's going on in their week. Hey, can I pray with you for whatever's going on? You have the opportunity to make much of that time or very little of that time. And we want to be here to encourage you to make much of that time. You want to share maybe just a little bit of their opportunity to hang out after the gathering?
Yeah, it's a great opportunity for us. Is outside of the Wednesday night context here is to go and spend time with students here on Wednesday nights. A lot of our students hang out at Tijuana Flats every single Wednesday night. They've been doing it for a long period of time. Yeah. And so when I walk in that room at the restaurant, I know I've got anywhere from 30 to 90 minutes of just chance to hang out time. So when I walk in, I usually do kind of a generic walk around. And I've seen a lot of other people, like Joel does this well, and several of our leaders kind of do a generic walk around and then just kind of jump from table to table and kind of looking for opportunities. A couple weeks ago, I had a great conversation, myself and one of the other adult leaders, with one of our students about the Bible. He had just heard a message and he was questioning whether or not is the Bible really accurate. And we got a chance. That's something that would never happen during the preaching session.
Right.
But because we're here in a one-on-one while we're having chips and guac,
yeah,
he starts opening up about why he's questioning the Bible. And we gave him a great opportunity to encourage him with some ideas and encourage him to study some things and some passages of Scripture that we thought helped encourage him, and got a chance to follow up with him a week later. It was a great opportunity. I think we can easily miss. In fact, not too long ago, I observed a conversation with two different people, and one adult leader said to the other, hey, you didn't go to Tijuana Flats Wednesday night, and the other one said, well, I wasn't hungry for T-Flats. And I actually broke my heart because I thought to myself, whether you're hungry or not, or you want to eat T-Flats is irrelevant. I don't go to T-Flats. In fact, there have been Wednesday nights where I've been fasting, and I go to T-Flats not because, and I know there are lots of adult leaders, we go there not because we're hungry or not. We go there because there are students that are hungry for quality investment.
Yeah, that's the truth. And, the chips and queso really are pretty good.
Yeah.
But, all kidding aside, I love to utilize the Tijuana Flats opportunities, and they abound. It's crazy. I love to go and work that room and eat their chips and queso, for real. Like I'll ask them like, "Hey, what'd you order me?" And like really just kind of like mess with them and have fun. But I will intentionally sit at a table for a couple of minutes and then move to another table for a couple of minutes. And sometimes I land at a table and one of those conversations will happen
Right.
where, it's like, "Hey, we're gonna get real." Kenny and I had a conversation with a young guy about a girl that he had been dating and kind of their interaction, and we had follow-up text messaging. That's the kind of stuff that happens when we insert ourselves into the life of teenagers, when we allow their world and our world to blend together, and at the end of the day, that's what we can offer them. We have the opportunity to offer students relationship with caring adults who are going to point them to Jesus. Very few people can do that, but we have that opportunity.
Yeah.
So whether it's on a Wednesday night here, whether it's afterwards at Tijuana Flats, whether it is in their world at a baseball game that they're at, or a West Orange High School football game, or whether you take them shopping and make a day of it, whatever it may be, it's important for us to recognize that we have the opportunity to build a bridge of relationship, and over that bridge, some really, really heavy things can be walked. Big God questions can be answered over the bridge of relationship. Big life questions can be answered over the bridge of relationship. Healing can happen over the bridge of a relationship. And so we want to build that bridge intentionally every moment that we get. It matters. Every high five, every hug, every smile, every question, it's one brick that builds that bridge of relationship. And our encouragement and challenge to you as a leader in student ministry, whether you're brand new or you've been doing this a long time, is to look at those opportunities and utilize those opportunities to build that bridge, because you never know when a student is going to let you walk something really big over that bridge. And that's our calling. That's what we're here for. So at the end of the day, what are we here for? We are here for students.